Hi, Glenn.
Good morning, Steph.
I do. I love everything you say in every form, on TV, on Twitter. I'm like, yes,
on YouTube.
Yes. Always okay. Well, you're obviously Ted Lieu reacting the same way you were to the DOJ spokesperson saying DOJ will make its own independent decisions in all prosecutions based solely on the facts and the law, period, full stop. And you said if DOJ will bring charges based only on the facts and the law, then please explain to we the people why you failed to charge Donald Trump with the several felony obstruction of justice crimes fully and meticulously documented in Volume 2 of the Mueller report. Yes. Thank you. If you're going on the facts and the law, I don't know how either that or you trying to overthrow the government of the United States doesn't qualify as prosecutable.
And here's my concern, Steph. By declining to indict Donald Trump for the many crimes that we've all seen him commit, we know he committed, there's no question about it. By declining to do it, the whole thing feels political. And this is what bothers me to my core. And if it's not political, here's what you're declining to prosecute Donald Trump for his many crimes. He no longer enjoys the shield of the presidency protecting him against criminal prosecution. If they would just be a little transparent with us and tell us why they are not prosecuting him at this moment, we deserve to know, because guess what? Every time you violate a law of the United States, you know who the victims are in a very real sense? We, the people. And we have a right to know. We deserve to know. So they need to start talking with us about what they're doing, what they're not doing, and why. I'm not asking them to divulge anything that would compromise ongoing investigations. But right now, there is no respect coming from the Department of Justice to we the people. And we're not going to take it forever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. First of all, Chairman Schiff signaled the House Select Committee could potentially subpoena Trump and Pence. Mm-hmm. He said no one is off the table.
And we're only going after the folks who took the orders to attack the Capitol. The folks who took the orders to go down there and fight like hell, to go down there, kick ass and take names. If you don't fight like hell, you won't have a country anymore. Now, get down there and stop what's going on in the U.S. Capitol. Those are quotes, Steph, right? That is textbook inciting a riot. So that's why we need to know from the Department of Justice why you are declining, at least thus far, to indict and prosecute crimes we've all seen. This is no different than if my neighbor breaks in and steals my TV or, God forbid, kills a family member, and the law enforcement apparatus says, we're not going to do anything with that. The people can't accept that, and we shouldn't be made to accept that. We need to start hearing from DOJ.
It's like someone would say to you, "Oh, Glenn, that was in the past that someone broke in and killed your family." I've never understood this, Glenn. It's like all crimes in the past, right? It's like, oh, well, we need to move on now. That was in the past. It's like, okay. I mean, as you said on Twitter, let's be clear. Trump should absolutely be indicted in Georgia for his election crimes and in New York for his financial crimes, but he violated the laws of the United States and victimized the American people. Trump is a federal problem and requires a federal solution equaling a federal indictment. Here. What is your feeling this morning on, is that going to happen? Or what is happening at DOJ right now as it regards? I mean, obviously you have a lot of tweets on Bannon in particular because he's the first and most egregious and has been referred for criminal contempt.
Yeah, I will never give up hope. I still have an expectation that multiple jurisdictions will indict Donald Trump. And Steph, in part, it's not because I'm Pollyanna, but because I can't conceive of a country that does not hold a criminal former president accountable for trying to bring an end to our democracy. I can't conceive of living in that country. We all know we have a lot of problems here and we fight against them every day. But I can't envision one of our most significant problems being we will allow the ruling class to bring an end to our democracy. I'm not going to give up hope. I'm not going to give up the ghost on that front.
Yeah, well, you said that. Can you imagine if we lose our republic? With Congress never having used its lawful power of inherent contempt to enforce its subpoenas, there's no shame in fighting for what's right and losing. There's nothing but shame in refusing to fight for what's right and fear of losing. And by the way, you reviewed, for people that forget, Steve Bannon. You said Steve Bannon steals from Trump's base. Bannon is indicted. Trump pardons him. We don't know if they split the money Bannon stole from Trump supporters or what. Trump then needs a favor, though. Tells Bannon not to testify / incriminate him before Congress. Bannon obliges. Conspiracy complete. I mean, that's what people forget. It's like, yeah, what did he get pardoned for, and how? I mean, it's every single element of it is corrupt, right?
And this is what's so important about what's about to happen to Steve Bannon. And I hope everybody will pay attention to this, because when the House votes to hold Bannon in contempt tomorrow, and I know people were outraged that they didn't do it a minute after he failed to appear, but what has been explained to me, I'm not an expert in congressional procedure, is they needed to set this vote for 3 days out in the future,
yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, because that's what, it's the rules of Congress that should be more important than the urgency of protecting our democracy. Thank you very much. So in any event, here's what's going to happen. They're going to vote him in contempt. They're going to refer to the appropriate U.S. attorney. That's the language in the federal statute. And then here, I'm going to read right from the law. It says, once the U.S. attorney in D.C. gets this criminal contempt referral, the U.S. attorney shall, not may, not might, shall present the matter to the grand jury for its action. Here's what that looks like. I was in grand juries for thousands of hours as a federal prosecutor. When we investigate a crime like contempt of Congress, we don't just investigate narrowly, right? We don't just say, oh, ladies and gentlemen of the grand jury, Steve Bannon failed to appear. He had a lawfully issued congressional subpoena. He has no legal defense or excuse. Please return an indictment against him. We investigate broadly. And what we always investigate with every crime is the motive. The motive for Steve Bannon to suffer criminal contempt rather than testify. You just read the tweet, Steph, that lays out the motive. One of the motives, Donald Trump pardoned him, kept him out of jail, let him keep the stolen money that he grifted from Trump's base. How is that not motive for Donald Trump to now say, hey, Steve, I did you a solid. I need a favor, though. Do not appear before Congress and incriminate me. This is the same gosh darn thing that Donald Trump and Roger Stone cooked up together. Roger Stone lied to Congress because, according to Judge Amy Berman Jackson, he was covering up for Donald Trump, and then Trump pardoned him. Steph, this is conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy.
Yeah, you laid out the Bannon and Trump. And then just for, again, Glenn, so people hear this, because everybody forgets they're all criminals. Everybody forgets which crime is which. You said we won't know until, someone asked you, are all of Trump's pardons actually legal? You said we won't know till one's challenged in court. But the Roger Stone pardon was part of an ongoing conspiracy. As Judge A.B. Jackson said, Stone covered up for Trump. So a court likely would invalidate if only we could find the will to fight in court for the American people. Yeah, the pardon itself was corrupt, and now it's a further criminal conspiracy, right? Whether it's Bannon or Stone.
And the Department of Justice needs to tell us, why are you shielding? Why are you not going after Donald Trump for these obvious crimes? We deserve to know.
Yeah. Yeah, you said if only there was a governmental agency empowered to seek justice on behalf of the American people. That's snark, right, Glenn? Is that snark you are purveying there? Snark. I believe you are purveying some snark.
That's a whole New Jersey boatload full of snark.
The Joyzy kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just with the double standard. You said seems like FBI Director Comey never stopped talking about his investigation of Hillary Clinton for her emails, and it did serious damage to her candidacy. Pollsters would say it was the tipping point after all the Russian interference and Facebook stuff. Trump is not a candidate at the moment, yet we hear nothing about him being investigated for actual crimes he committed. Yeah, this, sports commentary about 2024 as if this isn't the biggest criminal we've ever encountered in the Oval Office is just, it's mind-bending.
And let me touch on the Hillary Clinton thing for a minute, because I got a lot of pushback, appropriately so, because people are like, well, Glenn, the FBI is not supposed to talk about investigations, pending investigations. My point is, exactly, those are the norms and traditions. And Comey, the FBI, violated those norms and traditions and tanked Hillary's candidacy, because We never stopped hearing about that investigation into Hillary's emails. And then what did we get at the end of the day from Comey? Well, you know what? We're not going to prosecute her, but let me spend some time telling you how negligent she was. Just in case anybody is still contemplating voting for her,
Right.
let me completely tank her. Now, he shouldn't have done that. And now people are like, so the FBI shouldn't be talking about any investigation into Donald Trump now. I said, that's wonderful. Those are our norms and traditions, and we can carry them with us to the end of our democracy. Because I'm sorry, and I'm not advocating for violating norms and traditions, but I'm sorry because the Republicans used it to tank the Democratic nominee, and now we're supposed to honor them and carry those norms and traditions to the end of our democracy? I don't think so.